Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. The polar vortex continues to blanket the U.S. with frigid air and record low temperatures. It's now spread into the southern and eastern parts of the U.S. Meanwhile, temperatures in Chicago set a record for the day yesterday at minus 16 degrees, with the wind chill warnings far below that. Some of these wind chill warnings are in effect as far south as Florida.
The big story about all this has been the breath of the cold. So many folks seeing unusually cold air and wind chill warnings and advisories. Not often you see a map with that much coverage.
The weather has also forced hundreds of flights to be canceled. It's kept many schools and businesses closed. American Airlines canceled 1,800 flights and has delayed hundreds more. Some airports, the fuel itself was freezing. JetBlue is facing a lot of backlash from customers after shuttering operations at Boston's Logan Airport and the three major New York area airports. Other carriers canceled flights, but JetBlue was the only one to do so at those key airports, upsetting a lot of travelers. And it took years of hard fighting to drive al-Qaeda-linked fighters out of Fallujah. Now, 2 years later, they're back. After the American withdrawal, they're back, and they are entrenched. Secretary of State John Kerry says the U.S. will not send additional troops back into Iraq, but White House officials say additional supplies are on their way to help the Iraqi military and government.
We're working closely with the Iraqis to develop a holistic strategy to isolate the al-Qaeda-affiliated groups, and we have seen some early successes in Ramadi.
This violence is a spillover from the savage civil war next door in Syria, where al-Qaeda-linked militants have exported their cause across the border. So far, in 2013, nearly 8,000 civilians have been killed, a return to the kind of violence Iraqis have not seen since the very worst years of the war. Meanwhile, Dennis Rodman is back in North Korea. This time he's brought some former NBA All-Stars to mark the birthday of North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un. Some say Rodman's so-called basketball diplomacy is a missed opportunity to press Kim to release American Kenneth Bae, who's being held in a North Korean prison. Rodman says it's not his job to question his friend, the dictator who runs North Korea, that being Kim Jong-un. And the Senate votes to extend unemployment benefits today. The bill now heads over to the House. This legislation would provide checks to more than 1 million Americans for an additional 3 months of unemployment benefits at a cost of $6.5 billion. Today, President Obama made his own push for lawmakers to restore the long-term benefits. He also met with unemployed Americans at the White House today. Obama says it's, quote, cruel to withhold these benefits any longer. And it was a good night for Florida State at the BCS championship game. A recap of the improbable come-from-behind victory next. Plus, we sit down for an exclusive interview with TV's premier financial newsman. Lou Dobbs joins us for an exclusive next. Welcome back. A last-minute touchdown by Heisman winner Jameis Winston propelled Florida State to a 34-31 victory over Auburn for the BCS National Championship game. This was the scene in Tallahassee last night. Everybody's celebrating, of course. Number 1 Florida State came from behind in the final seconds of the game as the freshman threw a 2-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Kevin Benjamin with 13 seconds left on the clock. And Lou Dobbs tells Newsmax TV in an exclusive interview that the GOP will win the Senate if it ends its internal battle. Dobbs says Republicans have a historic opportunity to win back the Senate if they can come together around fundamental national values. Dobbs, a registered independent, says he's thinking about registering Republican again.
But they've got to stop this nonsense of creating wars within this tent before they can even get the doors open.
This has been your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. The Steve Malzberg Show is live now from New York.